Hi there, Frank George here. As a doctor, I know a thing or two about probing. Indeed I do. I love something that's easy to install, easy to use, and backed by a real support team. And that's why I choose TH3D Easy ABL Kit for my 3D printers. I prefer not to waste countless hours trying to figure out how to connect things to my machine when I could be printing instead. With the TH3D Easy ABL, you get technical support, easy to use firmware, quality parts, amazing accuracy, and there's no moving parts. What are you waiting for? Head over to their site at easyabl.th3dstudio.com and get one today. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy printing! The Easy ABL kit is meant for 3D printer usage only, not for medical or rectal use.
All right, how's everybody doing today? Let's see. Yeah, sorry about the longer queue time. I was like, oh crap, it's February and I didn't get the new form done. So as we said we're gonna do, we're doing another giveaway, and this is the first stream of February. So make sure to head over to giveaway.th3dstudio.com and enter in. If you're seeing the old form and it's saying like form is closed, try clearing your browser cache. We set that subdomain up to redirect to the form and just makes it easy instead of having to remember this long form link here. So, anyways, yeah, it's a little chilly here today. We got about I'd say almost a foot of snow. Clara was thoroughly enjoying it, which she has pooped. I don't know if you guys can see her. There she is. There's an ear right there. So yeah, yeah. I got the printer done, the CR10 that I was working on. Dear God, Duet it's very complicated. I probably will not be building another Duet machine. It is running now though. But when we did post, if you guys are using a Duet board and you want some sense made of their complicated configuration, we do have a Help Center article now on what we did anyways, using their documentation and testing it on this machine here, the different stuff to set to actually get it working. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. I would not recommend a Duet board for somebody that's like even medium level skill. But we do have the Help Center guide here with information here, wiring, where we recommend you wire everything up to. For the Duet 2, the 3, 6HC, and their Mini 5 Plus, and the different types of settings. So there's a lot of other settings you actually have to set for everything to behave correctly, if that makes sense. So I have all those detailed here, different configuration options that you can put into the config file, like selecting your tool at the end and then enabling the EEPROM support, configuration line examples for the different boards, and these are written to correspond to the pins we recommend you hooking up onto the boards themselves. So like on the Duet 6HC, IO7 and ground, the Z Probe in and ground on the Duet 2, and then the IO6 and ground on the Duet Mini 5. Selected this one because this is just a 2-pin one and it's only an input, so that'd be really good for use with a probe. I feel like my microphone gain is a little bit low today. There we go. So anyways, this is live on the site. There's a lot of different steps. And it's very manual. If you guys are familiar with Marlin, you know, you set your probe offsets, which is what this is here, right here. But you have to manually define your mesh boundaries. Whereas like with Marlin, we have it coded in, so you can actually just put your offsets in it and tell it how far away from the edge, and it'll take into account all that stuff, your bed size, your probe offsets. You have to manually take that all in consideration with the Duet. So, you know, this is an example from the CR10 machine and how I have it set up, and also included my custom home all commands and then the home Z commands as well. So you can kind of replicate that setup, and then information here, the links to the Duet wiki and their G code. So this is just like the vanilla Marlin guide that we have for the EasyABL. It's just provided as is. Like our tech support on that kit doesn't cover setting up your entire Duet board. But I did want to give you guys information on, you know, what is required to actually set it up. Honestly, the wiring is super easy. As you can see, it's just connecting to 2 pins on the board. But the firmware configuration is a little bit involved, as you can see here. So I just wanted to point that out, that is live. Let me go ahead, and I forgot to put up my overlays here. So there we go. They're up. And this is our weekly Ask Tim stream. We do these every Monday and Wednesday around 2 p.m. Central Time. I say around because sometimes things get delayed, but we try to stick to that schedule pretty well. I think we've been doing a pretty good job. These run about 1 hour long. So there is a link to our Discord server in the video description. If you want to share a link or an image or something, you can post it in the Discord channel. And I have this open on my other monitor here because YouTube doesn't allow you to share it unless you're a moderator. So this is a good way to work around that. So let's get into the questions here and see what we got going on. So let me pop the chat out here. I thought I had it open. I must have accidentally closed it. Let me see here. Content, live. You got to click through. There's like a million different menus to get through to get to the actual stream chat here in the YouTube control panel. So let's see here. I am making it bigger so I can actually see it. Otherwise, it's tiny on my end. So let's go back up and see what we got going on. Looks like Maker Viking was the first one that popped in here. I don't know if it's, is that it? Yeah, it was. So anyways, let's see. Derek has got the first question. I feel like Derek gets a lot of the first questions on these streams. He's just at the ready. I don't know if he has like a list and he's just like waiting for them. But we're kicking off today's with a question from Derek Cirillo. He says, Tim, is there a special technique to install the TH3D plumb coupler? No matter how hard I try, they're never properly centered and create wobble in the Z lead screw. They're not, I mean, it's just a coupler. There's just set screws, or not set screws, but on ours they have screws that clamp around it. What I usually do is I'll put the rod into the 8mm side of that coupler. I don't know if I have one here. Sorry. Sorry, dog. I do actually. I have one here. So you have the two sides here. You have the 8mm side and the 5mm side. And what I'll do is there's stops inside here. Put the lead screw in all the way, and then put this onto the motor. Tighten on the lead screw side, and then tighten on the motor side. Now, one thing you want to check is like this is fully together. Sometimes if you're not paying attention, since this can separate, they're actually pretty hard to get apart. But they do separate under the forces that they're meant to be. I'm not even going to try to pull this apart. I'll end up hurting my fingers. But you want to make sure that this is firmly pushed together, because if it's not fully seated all the way, what'll happen is that it can introduce the wobble because the coupler is not fully pushed together. But I usually do the lead screw first, push it in as far as it'll go, and then put it down the motor shaft, and I'll tighten the lead screw up, and then tighten the motor up, and then rotate. And if something is wobbling, I'll loosen it up a little bit, rotate the lead screw in there, tighten it back down, But you want to make sure that both the motor shaft and the lead screw are fully inserted. You don't want to have a gap inside there. These are designed to be fully pressed into the coupler on both the motor shaft side and the lead screw. Now, we have two different revisions of these. This is one of the older ones. You can see it doesn't have a hole here. This has a full stop. The other ones have a partial stop, and the motor shaft can actually go up further. So that's why I say put the lead screw in first until it stops, and then put the motor shaft in. So you want to make sure that this side is fully butted up against the lead screw. I wish I had a lead screw laying around here. I had one, but I don't think I have one still. Hang on, let me check my garage here. Unfortunately, I do not have a lead screw handy. So, hang on. So why is Aaron calling me? What's up? Is our website down? Oh, there is. Okay, well, that's fun. I might have to cut this short if our site's down. Let me see if I can bounce it. That's not good. Does someone... Let me see. Let me clear the cache. Will that do it? Looks like it's back. I'm wondering if it's from people who are logged in. Aaron, see... Can you guys hit our site? Doesn't open for me. It opens here. Well, that's fun. Let me restart the PHP service here. It opens, but it doesn't let me go to the cart or anything. Okay, well, how's that for poor timing? Yep, now I'm seeing a critical error. Alrighty then. This is fun. Live debugging. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit shorter because yeah, this something must have updated. I see there's deprecated error messages. We didn't even update anything today. Why are we getting error messages? Well, we got a backup as of 10:27 a.m. That's fun. Yeah, the help center should still be up. All right, well, I'm going to answer a couple of questions. We're going to have to cut this short because our site is apparently down. That's really weird. So, sorry about that. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any quick questions here. I'm also going to open up a Kinsta support message here and see what's going on here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry about this. Talk about really shitty timing. Come on. Oh, vey. It is Monday. Let's see. Okay, so Keith is asking, hey Tim, Unified Firmware 2, I'd like to adjust the X0Y0 due to my Hear Me setup. Probe mount is hitting the X gantry plate when it heads to X0. I'm pretty sure I already answered you on our Discord if you read the replies, because someone was posting the same exact thing. You need to shorten up your X gantry or your X bed size. I've talked about this before here. Because your mount is pushing everything to the left and you're reducing your X print area because of the mount you're using, you're going to have to modify your bed size. So you'll look for the X bed size depending on which machine it is. I'm trying to find where I replied to someone. Someone on Discord was posting pictures of their setup. But yeah, the username was Paladin in here. And yeah, you would have to modify the X bed size in the source code. And basically what you would do, and this is what I would do to determine how far over I can actually move, is home your X and Y. It's going to go to the back right corner because I think they said it was on an Ender 5. It looks like it's on an Ender 5. So it would go to the back right corner, move over about 200 millimeters and see how close you are, and then inch it over by a millimeter and see what that final X value is displayed on screen. Because let's say you can move it over 200 and then you go 205 and you're right about to hit, that means your new X print size is 205. That's the maximum size you can print without hitting anything. So if you reduce that bed size, it's then going to prevent it from going too far over and colliding with the frame. That is a very common thing when you change your hot end mounts. Depending on who designed it, they might have designed it in a way that you're going to lose print area, and you know, it's just something you have to deal with, but you also have to modify your firmware. So you would look at changing the X underscore bed underscore size for your particular printer. And if you look at the source code, you can kind of step through the actual source. So if I pull up let me pull up our firmware here. And it's similar for all the different board configs, but all of this is located in the config.h. There's not an actual like value. Hang on one second. Looks like our stock management plugin is causing the issue. They just got back to me. But let me pull up here. So I think if you're the same guy that's in the Discord server, I would assume so. Just the timing of everything. So let me pull up my monitor here. So this is the configuration file that you're used to seeing. I have the high contrast here, so you can edit this in VS Code. I just prefer to edit. I do a lot of my editing in Notepad++, but if you scroll down, you'll find this right here. So if we look in this section here, so this is I have comments in here, so you can see here Ender 3/5 V42X board settings. This would be similar to the Easy board or even the Melzy board, but if you scroll down here, you can see the different locations where we define the bed size. So you have these if statements. This tells the firmware if the Ender 5 V422 board is enabled. If this option is enabled or the 427 board is enabled, we're setting the X bed size to 220, and the Y bed size to 220, and the Z max position to 300. So let's say after that mount is installed, you only have 205 millimeters of print area, meaning you can move X over 205 until it collides with the frame. You would just go in here and change this to 205 or whatever the value is that you can actually physically address now, and then upload the firmware to the board, and that will then prevent it from going too far. You'll also need to then update your slicer on its X size or whatever value. You can do the same thing for Y. If for some reason you have an issue where Y collides, and this is applicable to any printer, not just the Ender 5, just make sure you're modifying it in the correct location. But the important thing is if you change it here to 205, you're also going to have to go into your slicer and change it to 205. So like if I did it on the firmware side and my slicer is still set up for 220, what's going to happen is it will still slice, but when it actually goes to print and you're over in that area, it's just going to cut it off and double up all the extrusions because the firmware is just not going to let it go past that. So like in Simplify 3D, I would go to the G-code tab here, and let's say if I reduce my X size to 205, I would also change it in my slicer. So if I go here and change it, it should adjust the preview here. So if I do 205 here, you see how it shrunk the bed here? That's what you want to do. So you want to make sure not only that your firmware is set up to the correct printable area that your printer supports, but you also then got to go modify your slicer. So just to run through really quick, like if I pull up, let's see, like our Easy board, because the Easy board supports the Ender 5. If I pull up its configuration file, it's got a little more into it, but you can see we have the under 5 support. But if I scroll down, I'm pretty good with my comments about stuff. You can see here, here's the machine settings. But if I scroll down and look, so you can see here, here's a CR10 bed, here's a CR10, here's a CR10 mini. If we keep going down, here's the Ender 5. So you got to kind of look through the code and find out where these settings are getting put into place at. And that would be the X bed size of 220. You would modify this. And like I said, if you just look at the code and read it, it looks really intimidating. But if you just read through it, you can kind of make sense. So, okay, if enabled Ender 5, these are the settings we're going to use. So if you change it like over here on the Ender 5 Plus, it's not going to take effect because when you compile the firmware for an Ender 5, it's only taking this block of code into consideration when it's compiling. So this is where you need to make the changes. So that's basically what you need to do. So find out how much travel distance you have before you collide with the frame and modify it in there. And it's as simple as that. So let me go through. Like I said, I do got to figure out what's going on with the site. Did they get that back up? Hang on one second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this short because they're asking me a bunch of questions. Our hosting company. So, I'm sorry, everybody. I was not expecting things to have an issue. I think we updated last night. I updated our stock management plugin, but I would have expected it to crash it right away, not like hours later. But we have backups, so it's all good. The Help Center is a separate site, so you guys can still get support information. So, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe, how about this? I will do a stream later tonight to make it up for you guys. Is that okay? I gotta take care of business first, because if the business doesn't work, then we can't pay the bills and keep doing stuff. But I will give Clara a treat before we go. Can you sit? Can I get a speak? Give me a big one. Yeah, there we go. Good girl. All right. So, anyways, I'll do a stream later tonight to make it up for you guys. I'm sorry, I gotta go take care of the site, and I wasn't expecting their support to get back to me right away. So, anyways, I'll be back later tonight, and I'll post out. I gotta go fix our website. So, sorry this had to get cut short. It's a month.